I'm John Barr. Hope you're doing tricks and treats. Do them both. The economy's in the toilet and we don't have time for you to be doing half of your job, alright? So get to work. Speaking of work, the M&M's mascots sure don't. The M&M's mascots are facing massive cultural backlash and may be pulled from our airwaves entirely because of their horrible decisions to add a purple one that's not sexy and give the green one shorter shoes, which makes her less sexy. And look, I can't even pretend to care about this. I hate that we're still talking about these guys. I hate our country's never-ending empty calorie culture war. I hate that things can't just be dumb anymore. They've got to be a 48-hour discourse. And most of all, I hate the very premise that in any world the M&Ms are considered sexy. They are not. Yes, they're round and full of chocolate, like boobs are, I think. But is that really how far our standards have fallen? Why are we letting these little bow tie boys tell us that we ought to be attracted to the M and or M's when we could be out here crafting our own far superior, far sexier candy mascots? And I have done exactly that. I've been working in my lab late at night to give this brain-dead discourse something to really talk about. A whole new slate of candy mascots that are actually sexy. Welcome to the beginning of the video. First things first, I don't have time to do free PR work for every single candy brand that there is, so I decided to focus my efforts specifically on the candy that this country loves the most. And thankfully, CandyStore.com has already provided me with a list of the top 10 candies in America. We take M&M's off the list and we now have 9 different candies I can do a he's all that upon. And just to make sure that nobody comes at me for making a brand too woke by making the characters too politically correct, we're gonna appease middle America and make all of these mascots super hot dudes. It's what Tuck would have wanted. Next, we're gonna look at these 9 candies, see which ones of them already have mascots that can be improved, and which ones we'll have to be more or less starting from scratch with. And why not start with the objectively best candy, Reese's Cups? I don't want to hear any arguments. The only candy that comes close to being as good or better than Reese's Cups are Reese's Eggs that they have on Easter. I know those things mostly just kind of look like footballs, but they are delicious. Now, there's some conflicting literature out there as to whether or not the Reese's official mascot is named Reese or Cuppy. I certainly know which one I prefer. But talk about weird candy marketing campaigns. Apparently in December 2021, we got hit with Reese's University, a whole pretend college that they set up complete with like their own admissions page, a student store, an athletics program that is largely about their football team. But it has already given us a great framework to build around. Football. But we can't just make our Reese's peanut butter mascot just a Reese's cup that plays football. No! We're talking about the best candy of all time. This guy needs to be the absolute undisputed king of all footballers. Ballers. Oh, see, now we're getting somewhere. Now we've got it. Who better to model America's favorite candy than America's favorite film star, Dwayne formerly Rock Johnson? The hierarchy of power in the candy universe is about to change. May I introduce you all to the new and improved and oh so sexy Reese. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that the artwork is great. He's somebody with class. He's somebody with muscle. He's somebody that you know can hold down a franchise, except for that one time with DC. Now we're going to jump from number 1 on the list to number 10. The least popular of the most popular. It's candy corn. You know, for as much shit as the general public likes to slang candy corn's way, it still made it onto the list of the most popular candies. Clearly somebody out there likes it. So we know right off the bat that unlike Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who is the most palatable and everybody loves, we're gonna want to go with somebody that's a little more polarizing, you know? Only a specific subset of the population's tastes. And while candy corn does not have their own official mascot, it is arguably the candy on this list that is most strongly associated with Halloween specifically. We want to make a character that's gonna be a little bit more on the creepy side, you know? Somebody that's sexy, but also kind of spooky. A middle ground between Edward Cullen and Ryuk. Kind of pretty, but mostly off-putting. And when you think about it that way, there's only one clear person to base this character off of. Machine Gun Kelly. I don't understand the appeal of him at all, but if he's good enough for Jennifer's body, he's certainly good enough for mine. We just gotta give him a little bit of that bad boy vibe. We gotta give him that pointed cone head. Maybe we just toss in a little bit of vampirism as well, because those are also pointy like candy corn, and I'm really pulling for stuff to make him unique. But we have our character, nonetheless. Everybody say hi to Corden. He's not my type, but he might just be yours. Let's transition back over into something that's a little more generally crowd-pleasing with the next big candy, Hershey Kisses. They're not the most popular candy, but they're related to the biggest candy corporation, and they're good enough, and that's sometimes all it takes. Who's your favorite nepotism baby, Jack Quaid or the Hershey Kisses? Let me know in the comments. So if we want to make a brand new hot dude candy mascot for Hershey Kisses, which of course we all want to do, then we've got to give him a little bit of just like a very soft, approachable boy look. You know, make him something like romantic royalty. But since we don't have any royalty in America, we have to settle for the next best thing, which is the Bachelor franchise. Think about all of the amazing eligible bachelors that we've gotten to see through this show. There's Zach. Guess how many of those were actually named Zach? It's more than you think. So all we really need to do is make a nice young man in a nice, slightly too tight suit and just find a way to naturally work in the Hershey Kiss look. Lo and behold, that leaves us with Prince Kyle. You can't even tell that I did anything to the hair. That's Kyle just wakes up like that. But on the other end of the spectrum, sometimes we don't want a candy like Hershey Kiss that's just a wee bit romantic. Sometimes we want one that's a little bit more explicitly horny. Something like a Snickers bar. In many ways, it is the polar opposite of what we've got going on with Hershey Kisses and Prince Kyle. So, what is the polar opposite of a reality TV show Bachelor contestant? Why, a reality TV show Jersey Shore contestant. Everybody, we're making this guy like Mike the Situation. So with just a little bada bing and a little bit of bada boom, we have ourselves a brand new candy mascot, the exact opposite of Prince Kyle. We have the pauper, Lyle. So I'm willing to admit that I kind of lost the candy element in this one and kind of just did fan art of Mike the Situation. Sometimes you're just stricken with the human form and how to adequately draw a six-pack abs on a cartoon Candyman. So I think we just have to stop focusing on the human form for a minute and move on to our next candy, Tootsie Pops. Now finally, we're back to a candy with a pretty recognizable mascot. That, of course, being the Tootsie Pops owl. There's a whole plethora of sexy professors that we could choose as the basis for our Tootsie Pot owl hot sexy man. Oh, what's great is that both my roommates are home and can definitely hear me recording this video, and they're gonna have to keep living with me. And while there's a whole plethora of hot, sexy professors we could use to make our character, I think we can all agree that when we think of hot professor, there's really only one character that comes to mind. Professor Kevin Sorbo's character from God's Not Dead. Oh boy. Here's the body of Hercules and the heart of Bigot. My favorite. Oh wait, I just remembered we can't turn Kevin Sorbo into a candy. He's already been bought off by the Cookie Lobby with Cookie Bonanza 2. So we're gonna have to go with the next sexiest professor, which is that new dude professor from Pokemon Violet. And what's great is that the character's an owl, so we're able to knock out the furry market real quick by making him the most attractive owl I can think of, which is of course the same one that everybody thinks of, Soren from Guardians of Ga'Hoole. And with that, we have ourselves a brand new modern day mascot for the Tootsie Pop Corporation, Professor Pops. Yes, I did kind of have to give him the whole Dr. Manhattan bikini bottom just in case YouTube decided to understandably flag this photo. Is it wrong for me to say that this is the art I'm the proudest of having done? It's just that trying to get the owl head to fit inside the human lab coat was just, that was a struggle, and I just want, you know, damn me for everything else, but can I get at least some W's in chat for that? Next up, Sour Patch Kids. First they're sour, then they're sweet. Now to really pull off being the Sour Patch Kids spokes candy, we want to find an actor that has a bit of boyish charm to them, you know, like a Timothy Chalamet or a Harry Styles. Unfortunately, Timothy Chalamet is already acting as the king of candy, Willy Wonka, And turns out Harry Styles just isn't that good of an actor. So what we need now is to figure out if there's any sort of younger male celebrity that's really in with youth culture that maybe has a couple things that he's done in the past that aren't so good. Maybe somebody who just recently unveiled their immediately widely shared face. Somebody like Dream. Say hello to Patch. It's spelled with a 4, like a gamer tag would be. Now, I'm glad I didn't have to draw hands because the Sour Patch Kids don't have hands, but I'll be the first to admit that that just does not look good. Looks like he's got a pair of ballerina legs for arms. I'm sorry I did that, but I'm not gonna change it. Next up, we have Hot Tamales. Trying to find the Hot Tamales mascot was not a really fruitful search. At some point in time, they've had just a little boy as their mascot. They've had the sun as their mascot. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and stick with this little fireball with cool sunglasses. And I see this cool guy that's got sunglasses and is on fire, and immediately my mind goes to, well, we can make him a bit of a bad boy. But we've already got that territory covered with Corden. So instead, I decided to go down the wild card route. Somebody that's got that chaotic energy. Somebody that's kind of a weird little guy, but it really makes it work. A bit of a Charlie Day, Danny DeVito hybrid. Also, the first place my mind went to when I saw the sunglasses and the flames was Guy Fieri. So we're also going to add a little bit of that in there, too. All that was left to do was to find somebody that was weird, but kind of hot all the same as our actual base to build around. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell what pop culture character I did, but I'm so excited for you to meet the brand new Hot Tamales mascot, the Tiz. So, obviously, this character is mostly based upon the physical attributes of Heat Miser from The Year Without a Santa Claus. Our second to last candy that we're going to be doing is Starburst. Starburst doesn't necessarily have a specific mascot, but they do have an advertisement character that has really taken TikTok by storm. I am, of course, referring to the Berries and Cream Lad. So we've got ourselves somebody that is very clearly an adult, but with very boyish energy. He's got himself a fairly nice outfit, and he's also a bit of a bad boy. And this is what really sent me down a spiral. Something that I knew would inevitably come up in this video, but something that I hoped and prayed I could find a workaround for. But unfortunately, when it comes to Starburst and making a new hot mascot, there really is no other alternative. We're gonna have to make a Tumblr sexy man. I'm talking the Onceler from the Lorax, Reagan from Mob Psycho, the weird kind of human version of Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. Combining all of those characters with the Berries and Cream Lad from the Starburst commercials, we have our so sexy character, Star Lad. Well, it can't be any worse than Star-Lord, huh? Mario. And at the very least, we've gotten the most viscerally upsetting character out of the way, huh? But folks, I've saved us the best for last. The most important candy we'll be discussing in this video. The one that will give us the most obvious counter to the M&M's mascots. That's right, we're doing Skittles. Now, as far as I know, Skittles don't have any anthropomorphic Skittles in the way that M&M's has their sentient candies, but I'm sure that they have an equally recognizable and iconic and beloved mascot. I mean, think of how many times you've seen the Taste the Rainbow type commercials. I'm sure if we look up Skittles mascot, we're gonna find something absolutely delightful. Yeah, alright, I'm seeing like a dragon, I'm seeing a dude in just a straight up Skittles wrapper at... What the hell is that? What the hell is a yogurt boy?
Yogurt boy!
Creamy. More.
Pacify the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
I didn't like that one bit. What a fun That's awesome. I mean, you want to talk about toxic masculinity, that thing straight up perverted that little innocent candy into something much darker. Oh, you know what? There is actually a character I think of when I think of these Skittles. Somebody that is immensely popular, even though if you look at what they actually are, they're obviously disgusting and vile. Something that is obviously grotesque and terrible, but for some reason many still view as being a symbol of a higher class of living. The Skittles Yogurt Boy is without a doubt most evidently embodied by Andrew Tate. What? That's how he looks. That's a picture of the guy and how he looks as a guy. But once again, the path has been made incredibly clear to us. All we have to do is combine this, for some reason, sex symbol with this, for some reason, mascot into what is hypothetically the most anti-M&M's, woke, PC, whatever nonsense adjectives we're attaching to M&M's, as I introduce you to the brand new Skittles mascot, Skeet. What? That's how he looks. That's how your guy looks. There's actually something I wanted to change about this Skeet art, though, real quick, if you can just give me a second. There we go. Yeah, I'd say that's significantly more fitting. So remember, kids, when Halloween rolls around and your parents try to get you invested in their candy crusade, just look them dead in the eyes and say, "Shut up, Mom! Buy me more Star Lads!" Well, I can't imagine that you liked this video, but if you did like it, good news, they have a whole button down below for you to prove it. You can also subscribe to the channel to see what else I get up to, or click on the 2 videos that'll be up at the end of the video to see other videos. Anyway, I gotta go disseminate this art across Tumblr and Rule 34 to see if I can crowdsource some actually good art of these characters, so I will see you all next time for another one of these videos. What's crazy is that I recorded a different version of this video for Halloween and didn't release it because I thought it was dumb and that there'd be no way that the M&M discourse comes back.